Okay, so the light today is absolutely terrible because it's overcast outside and I still don't have a proper lighting, which is going to take a while, if at all. Now, I had a couple of people talk about how they wanted an optical drive for their new laptops because internal ones have been taken out, and honestly, wow. Okay, not surprised, but I'm shocked at the kind of current these things would draw. I've got one somewhere in a huge ass collection of optical drives that I have that are like almost, one was like 1.9 amps. Hopefully it'll only be doing that, drawing that sort of current when it's burning a DVD, but damn. So these things must have been one hell of a drain on battery life, which makes running them off USB, even USB 3, problematic. Which would be really good, and I mean really good, if this little bastard was USB 3. Is it USB 3? No, 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 no. What's this? Oh, backwards compatibility with USB 2. Let's actually take a closer look at that, shall we? So I bought two of these things and it was just under $40 to get both. Now this is just the actual caddy itself. This doesn't include the drive. So no drive in this. No drive. Just the caddy. That's what I wanted. I wanted a USB 3. So here's the one that I had previously opened, and it comes with this which, wait, is this the one that it came with, or, oh no, here we go. So this is the lid for this one, and try to pop it on here and you can see that it is significantly bigger. So when I tried to install this onto this, it wouldn't go on properly. So really the way this should slot on is simple. It really just should snap into place. Like that. Yeah. But this, when I try to put it on there, it wouldn't sit. So first off, your standard optical drives won't fit into this thing. So try to slot it in and it's like, there. It ain't going in. And then it's figuring out how to take it apart. Turns out, there are two screw holes hidden at the arse end. So I just tear them off. Now these did take a fair bit of force to pull off originally. But as for right now, no, they come off easily. And this houses perhaps the worst bloody screws I've seen before. The tip of it is really thin. It's almost like hairline. It's nuts. Alright, so I got that out. This, then, you shift it like that, and it comes off easily. So, what do we got inside? So what do I think about the plastic? Nice and shiny, probably going to scratch easily after being knocked around a bit. Secure-wise, yeah, that's acceptable. You don't screw it in. What you do is, it's got these like plastic springs to hold it in place. Do I find that problematic? Not really. Here's what I find problematic though. So first off, you're probably going to wear out that cable after a while, but second, that's not USB 3, is it? I mean, that's just a USB 2 mini port. There's like nothing. So what's happened here, someone's installed this cable here. This end is definitely USB 3. It's blue. I can see the additional pins on the inside. USB 3 mini or micro, they're got like a second point, so it should be wider. It doesn't have that. This is just like a standard mini USB 2 port, or at least compatible. I don't know if it drops down to USB 1, but if it does, it's like, so yeah, 1.3 amps. So for this drive, which out of the case, yeah, it plugs right in and you plug it up and off it goes. But this thing isn't even going to run on like your standard USB 2. It's going to kill it. You'd have to run this thing through a proper powered hub with at least 2 amps of current. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem. And like that 1.9 amp one, that's gonna, you're gonna just drop your USB off. Anything plugged into it's most likely just going to die if all it's done is just plugged in through that. USB 3, straight from a computer, without any additional support, is only supposed to put out about 1.5 amps. So this is touching it. 1.9 amps would basically just bleh. It's just going to stop. So this itself is great, but even the PCB itself, this is the thing that bothers me. There doesn't even seem to be anything to provide additional sort of power. So I mean, I bought this thinking, oh yeah, you know, this is going to be a step up. It was only a little bit more, and so this is the bottom of it. So you've got the model number. So if you see something like this, my recommendation is that unless you specifically want this part out of it, don't buy it. It's a piece of shit. It's not USB 3, since this isn't a USB 3 port. This is, and this part is what plugs into the PCB on the inside. So there's a PCB. And honestly, if you had a like powered hub, yeah, fine, this will be fine. But just plugging this in, which is what the people I'll be giving it to, they're just going to plug it straight into their computer. They're not going to know how to do any of this. This is just a con. It works. Yes, I've plugged it in. I've had this working. It sort of did some funky things to my keyboard because of the current draw, but if this was sold in Australia, in the stores, they wouldn't be selling it for very long. I can say that much. This isn't as advertised. It's just, so you're thinking, oh, external case. If you're not aware of how this sort of works, basically you buy an adapted caddy that you can put your hard drive into, and then you'll be able to slot this in and use it as an external hard drive. But apart from the size problem, I mean, so what would I do to fix this? Well, I would get a male port to attach this into an adapter. No, sorry, I just need a starter, male to female. Male goes here, female goes here. Attach external power, and you're off. I mean, you'd be far more sort of sensible, because if you can isolate it properly, you're great. This should still supply enough power to run the chip, so you can do the data transfer, but this is ridiculous. I can't for the life of me understand why. And these things are all over bloody eBay. So yeah, if you are going to buy something like this, this is just not helpful. I can't even see a place on this PCB. I mean, you might be able to, I think that's going to be some sort of power regulator, voltage regulator. I would hope. 3.3 volt regulator. So yeah, that's supposed to drop down to 5 volts to run the chip. Maybe, I think these are only 5 volt devices. I think. So yeah. Look, yeah, I'll just grab it. So this is the device I'm currently using for myself. Dusty as F. USB 2 using the original, I think this is the B socket or the A socket. No, there's a B socket. Decent sized power jack. And screws are nice. I mean, they're a little long, which they need to be. I did put one of these together and accidentally sort of went a little too tight. So, you know, be careful with that. But how do you open this? Crap. This thing was a lot easier. And there's one downside to using this particular drive here. The voltage, the V plus on USB socket is directly connected to the voltage on the DC jack. Meaning if you plug that into, say, a power brick that's outputting, oh, I don't know, like 12 volts. 12 volts straight through USB on your computer, at which point that's not going to be very good for your computer. So this itself is dangerous. If you're not getting enough juice out of your USB port, so you can't power it through this, you have to plug this into another USB port on your computer just to get another ½ amp. And I haven't had problems with that myself. But if at the very worst you needed to get one of these, you know, great. About $15, $20 and a spare optical drive if you've got like a ton of them floating around. If you're going out and specifically buying one of these to put in here, just buy just go buy a retail one. I've seen secondhand ones for $50 in a shop nearby. It's called, I'm not going to say the name, but yeah. These are terrible. This is questionable, but workable. I mean, very worst powered hub. This is just, I mean, why? Anyway, I'm going to cut this video off, try to get it edited and uploaded quickly, and then try to do a better video, because so far right now I've done 2 ranting videos about how I don't like certain shit. This is something I don't like. This is something I think is a complete screw up, and can't believe that some asshole actually... As for me listing the seller who I purchased it from, well, from as far as I can tell, they are a seller of mass products. So they probably think, oh, USB 3, okay, I'll go put that on eBay, like everybody else. As for blaming them for selling me this, well, I'm going to take a photo of this and send it to them. Hey, who knows, I might get my money back, but I'm not asking for it because I just can't be bothered at this point. It's too long for shipping. Now, if I got this and this was USB 3, I would have been fine. You know, shipping's acceptable, but too long for shipping. Fake product, at least not as described product. And it did say slimmer. It seemed like it was talking about the case, but no, it was talking about the optical drive. Now, I think I do actually have one I could use with this, but anyway. Yibbity-yibbita.